What is going on, Panthers Nation? Giving everybody just a minute to tune in here. Early morning. Last day in Vegas for me. So get ready to head back home. Thank goodness to the good old state of North Carolina. Excited to be home. We'll give it another second here, and then let me switch this over. I'm going to kick it off. How y'all doing? Good morning from Las Vegas, Nevada. Hope y'all are doing well today. Gonna go ahead and get started today. So I am traveling back to North Carolina, and I'll be able to record an official podcast this weekend. But hey, time to talk about everything that's happened over the last day. So yesterday, before I went live, I recorded a video talking about Hayden Hurst, Dante Jackson, and Taylor Moton. Issue is, when I tried to upload it, it didn't work. And then since then, more news came through. So I said, I'm not even going to try to record it. I'll just do a live cut and call it a day. So news coming out. Know a lot of folks have seen it. Hayden Hurst going to be cut. Panthers have informed him that. He's got a roster bonus coming. A lot of these guys have roster bonuses coming. The thing about Hurst is we're not really saving any money by doing this. This is more of a, hey, we just need to reset at this position. Canales looking at the roster, and he has said this during the offseason coming into where we are today, that he doesn't have any emotional ties to these players. And it's unfortunate for Hayden Hurst. I mean, he caught Bryce Young's first NFL touchdown, threw it into the stands, ended up getting the ball back. Hayden Hurst coming in, I expected to have a bigger impact on this roster. You know, you look at him coming in from the Bengals thinking, oh, yeah, this is the guy we need at the tight end position, and it didn't work out. Some of that having to do with the injury and the concussion. It's just a bad situation for him. I hope he's able to play again if he chooses to play and that a team picks him up. But it's not going to be here in Carolina. Then moving down the list, we've got Dante Jackson. Yes, Dante Jackson, rumored to either be traded or cut. I don't know what the trade market value is for him. I don't know how much you could get out of there, but it sounds like he's off the roster. And I know there's some people who are not Dante Jackson fans, and I get it. He's had ups and downs, just like a lot of these players on the roster. But when you look at our cornerback room and who is going to be there today, which is Boodle and J.C. Horn, and then 3 practice squad reserve guys, there's a lot of work that's going to have to happen in the cornerback room. And so you can push Jackson away, but how are you going to fill hit? And I don't know if that's going to be through free agency. We're going to have to look at it in the draft. So I get it. He's paid a lot of money. He's paid like a top 15 cornerback in the league. So I understand the Panthers saying, yeah, we just want to cut our ties and save a little bit of money. It's not a ton of money, but it is a little bit of money. The other name that's being floated now, it's not being floated that he's going to be cut, but a name that's going to come up a lot now is Taylor Moton. Taylor Moton, highest paid player on the roster, around $29 million per year. I don't see how you get rid of this guy. And I know I've heard people talk about restructures and the downside of a restructure, and I get that. I understand the impacts of restructuring someone and you're just pushing money down the road. But I do think it makes sense. I think you can get another year or two possibly with Taylor Moton. But I do think something's going to have to happen because he is taking up a lot of money. He's a great guy. I want him on the roster. I think the Panthers would have to be pretty darn crazy to completely just get rid of him, cut him. Now, I will say you will save a lot of money. I know Joe Person put that out there. I even put a little tidbit when I was doing my roster breakdown. You could save significant money. Like we're talking $16, $17 million if you cut him after 6-1. I hope that's not the case. Brian Burns, yes, talked about Brian Burns yesterday as I'm going through my notes. He does have the non-exclusive tag. Have no idea what's going to happen here. I've already talked about that. I'll go into more depth with that when I do my actual episode coming up. Last one on the list, Bradley Bozeman. So Joe Person, if you saw his article yesterday, talked about Bradley Bozeman. We know Bradley Bozeman's a downhill blocker. Canales likes to run a wide zone scheme. So where does he fit into this? Now, he's another one of these signings that we had last year that felt good, and it's re-signing, I should say, when we brought him back, and I was all for it because he did perform well. But that's the thing with Canales, man. We don't know what Canales is going to want to do, what Dan Morgan sees, what Brian Tillis wants to do as they restructure this. But it does feel like we are in a rebuild mode, like a complete rebuild. And you've got to start weighing, do you want to build around Bryce in this offense? Do you want to get him more assets because we know we need them? Yeah, it's going to be a lot of decisions. It's going to be a crazy week or two as we see what plays out here for the Panthers. And the guard position, it sounds like coming out of the combine that the guard position is likely going to be addressed through free agency. So, yeah, I mean, it's another one of those where we've got a lot of depth. If you've seen my breakdowns on the offensive line, means some guys are going to get cut. Could be some guys that we drafted last year. Could be, this, not Zavala, maybe Zavala, maybe not. The Jensens, the Lees, some of these younger guys that were undrafted. So it looks like a complete shift, and I'm okay with the Panthers doing these things now as long as we build for the future and we stop making stupid mistakes, because as you look at our cap space now, Burns' number technically counts against the cap. Now, if they get a long-term contract, if we trade him, we know that number, the $24 million, will go off the books. But in between then, we got to figure out how do we work with what is available. And last year, we didn't have a ton of cap space. So what we saw is the Panthers signing a lot of these guys, the Bells, the Tuttles, the Hurst, the Thielens, not so much Thielen, but some of these guys that signed, and their cap number last year was like 3-4 million. That's how we were able to bring them on. Now this year we're seeing 8, 9, 10 million. And if you're going to do that, if you're going to invest in players that are going to get paid more down the road, you need to develop it or put it into younger guys, i.e. the Burns. But yeah, Spencer said, I feel like we have to trade Burns because I feel like he refuses to play on the tag. Let me try to post this. Yep, true it again. I'm on my mobile, folks, so hard. Yeah, I agree. I don't think Brian Burns is going to play on the franchise tag. He's going to have a contract. And again, whether that's with us or he gets traded somewhere else, yeah, to be seen. But all right, folks, I will be back in North Carolina. Technically, it'll be Thursday morning when we get back. And I'll continue. I know I've been quiet on X as I've been out here. I'll have a new episode out, I don't know, sometime this weekend I'll record, get back on track. And we'll get prepared for free agency and the new league year, and I'll keep you updated as things come along. Anyways, folks, that's all I got in Carolina today. Y'all have a good one.